So do you also want to share Google Drive files on WhatsApp automatically? Then this video is definitely for you. So hello all, welcome back to Pabbly Connect, and in this video we are going to understand how to share Google Drive file on WhatsApp using Pabbly Chatflow. So I'm running a edutech company and we regularly used to share the notes to our students on WhatsApp. But this is such a time consuming and a tedious task to share each note manually to each student on WhatsApp. So to solve this problem, I've simply created this amazing automation where what is going to happen is that whenever I'm just going to add the notes in my Google Drive automatically, Pabbly Connect is going to get the details of the students from my Google Sheets and share them the notes on WhatsApp. So to do this, we are simply going to create a connection between Google Drive, Google Sheets and Pabbly Chatflow. And to create this connection without knowing any programming or coding language, we are going to use Pabbly Connect. It is an amazing automation software. So if you also want to create this amazing automation for your own business, then for that you have to come with me towards my screen. Welcome to my screen. So today I'll show you how to set up an automation that lets you share Google Drive files directly on WhatsApp using Pabbly Chatflow. So whether it's documents, images or PDFs, this setup makes file delivery seamless and instant. It is ideal for customer support, internal team sharing or digital product delivery. So let's dive in and get your files flowing to WhatsApp automatically. So as I've already mentioned that I'm running a edutech company and I regularly share notes to all of my students who have enrolled in my course. So to share them these notes, I use this amazing automation where whenever I upload the note in my Google Drive folder automatically to all the details which I have right over here in my spreadsheet, which are the enrolled students, the notes are shared on WhatsApp. So yes, I'm just going to show you how we are going to set this up. For that, I'm just going to open a new tab and I'm just going to look for the landing page of Pabbly Connect simply by searching pabbly.com/connect. And now it is opening the landing page of Pabbly Connect, and over here we're just going to get two options. One is sign in and the another one is sign up for free. So if you are a new user, you can click on this sign up for free and you're going to get 100 of tasks free every month to explore the application. But over here I am an existing user, so I'm simply going to click on this button which says sign in. And once I'm just going to click on this sign in, it is opening all Pabbly apps, and over here you can see all the tools and applications offered by Pabbly. But in today's video we are just going to use Pabbly Connect because we are connecting different applications. So I'm simply going to click on this access now right over here to access my Pabbly Connects account. And once I'm just going to click on this access now, it is going to open the dashboard of my Pabbly Connects account. And over here to start with this automation, we simply have to click on this button which says create workflow. Over here I'm just going to click on this button and now it is asking me for the workflow name and the folder I want to save the workflow in. So over here on my dashboard you can see multiple folders which I've already created in which I save my workflows. So if you also want to create a new folder, you can go towards this create new folder button and create your own. I have already created many, so I'm just going to save my workflow in one of these only, which is automations. And now I'm just going to name my workflow as this: share Google Drive file on WhatsApp using Pabbly Chatflow. And then we are simply going to click on this create right over here. And once I'm just going to click on this create, it is opening the most important window of our automation, which is our workflow window. So this is the most important window because we have trigger and action in this. Trigger and actions are the two main principles on which our workflow is going to run. Trigger means when this happens and action means do this. So by this you can understand that the actions are response towards the commands given by our trigger, and that's the particular reason that we can have only a single trigger but multiple actions following the commands of a trigger in a particular workflow. And to get started, I'm simply going to select my trigger application. So for my trigger application, I'm simply going to select it as Google Drive. So I'm just going to search for Google Drive and select it. And now for the trigger event, I'm simply going to select it as new file in specific folder and click on this connect. Now it is asking me to add a new connection or select an existing connection. So if you have already connected your Google Drive account with your Pabbly Connects workflow, you can simply click on this select existing connection and then save. But if you haven't, you have to follow me, click on add a new connection, and now we have to click on this blue button which says sign in with Google. And now it is asking me to select my Gmail account, with the help of which I'm just going to connect my Google Drive. So I'm simply going to select my Gmail account right over here, and now it is asking me for some permissions. So I'm simply going to click on this allow and give Pabbly all the permissions it is asking for because my data is secure with Pabbly. And with this we have successfully connected our Google Drive account with our Pabbly Connects workflow. And now it is asking me to select the folder or the subfolder. So over here you can see the name of my folder is Java course its weekly module notes. So I'm just going to select the same right over here, which is Java course weekly module notes, and the folder which you're selecting should be a shareable one. And how we're just going to make this folder a shareable one? For that, we're just going to go towards this folder name share, and once again towards this share, and from here we can make this folder a shareable one. You have to keep the general access as anyone with the link viewer. All right, so over here you can see that I have already did this, and now I'm just going to select my folder and click on this save and send test request button. All right, but before clicking on this save and send test request button, I'll just let you know that Google Drive is a pooling based application. So pooling based application means that this application will not check for new data instantly. It is going to take some amount of time to check for the new data. And over here in the case of Google Drive, it is saying that the trigger will check for new data in 10 minutes. So once I'm just going to click on the save and send test request, Pabbly is going to capture the last response or the latest response made in my Google Drive folder. So what I'm just going to do is, first I'm just going to do the test submission, and then I'm just going to click on this save and send test request. Now over here I'm just going to upload the notes. For that, I'm just going to go towards this new and then file upload, and over here I'm just going to upload the notes. All right, so over here you can see week 1 notes, so I'm just going to simply upload it right over here. And after uploading this week 1 notes right over here, with this we have successfully completed the test submission, and now I'm just going to click on the save and send test request so that Pabbly can capture the response for the same. And as you can see that Pabbly has successfully captured the response of the same test submission right over here. You're going to see all of the details which Pabbly has captured, and with this we have successfully completed our trigger step. And now what is going to happen is that whenever I'm just going to upload a new note right over here within 10 minutes, this workflow is going to get triggered. And if you want to increase or decrease this time, you can go towards this 3 dots, set trigger time, and from here you can increase or decrease the trigger time. I'm just going to keep it as 10 minutes only and move on further. Now I'm just going to share Google Drive files on WhatsApp. But to whom I'm just going to share these files? I want to share these files to all the course enrollment students. So to share these files to all of them, I first have to get these details in my workflow, right? For that, I'm just going to select my action application as my Google Sheets. So I'm simply going to search for Google Sheets and select it. And now for the action event, I'm simply going to select it as Get Rows. So I'm just going to search for it and click on this Connect. Over here, it is asking me for the same. So if you have already connected your Google Sheets account with your Pabbly Connect's workflow, you can simply click on this Select Existing Connection and then Save. But if you haven't, you have to follow me. Click on Add a New Connection, and now you have to click on this blue button which says Sign In with Google. Once again, Pabbly is asking me to select my Gmail account, and once again, it is going to ask me for some permissions. So I'm simply going to click on this Allow once again. And as soon as we're just going to click on this Allow, with this, we have successfully connected our Google Sheets account. Now it is asking me to select the spreadsheet. So I'm simply going to select my spreadsheet right over here, which is named Details. And now I'm just going to select the sheet. And now it is asking me for the range of the sheet which we want to get the rows as. All right, so what I'm just going to do is, over here you can see the range of the sheet is A2 to D15. So I'm just going to enter the same right over here, which is A2 to D15. You also have to enter the range. All right, and I'm just going to simply click on this save and send test request. But before clicking on this save and send test request, I'm simply going to switch off this simple response button because I want a advanced response of this. All right, so I'm simply going to click on this save and send test request. I'll just let you know why I switched on this button in the next step. So as you can see that we have successfully received all the rows, and now I'm just going to move on forward, and I'm just going to add another action step. Over here, I'm just going to add another action step, which is iterator. So iterator is a feature by Pabbly which iterates or loops through all the rows one by one and execute all the below actions multiple times based on the number of item in the whole data, which is array. So yes, this was the only reason why I selected advanced response in my previous step. And I'm just going to simply select the action event as process array, and I'm just going to click on this connect. And yes, we have received the array in the last step, so I'm simply going to enter the same and click on this save and send test request. And as you can see that now it has successfully given me the first name, the last name, the email, the phone number, and the row index. All right, so now iterator is going to execute all the below actions which I'm just going to add multiple times based on the number of items I had right over here in my spreadsheet. All right, so now I'm just going to add another action step, which is sending them a WhatsApp message using the same file. For that, I'm just going to add another action step, and now to send automated WhatsApp message, I'm just going to to use Pabbly Chatflow. You can use some another application too like AI Sensei and Vati. But over here I'm just going to use Pabbly Chatflow. So for that I'm simply going to select Pabbly Chatflow right over here as my action application. And now for my action event, I'm simply going to select it as send template message and click on this connect. And now it is asking me to add a new connection or select an existing connection. So if you have already connected your Pabbly Chatflow account with your Pabbly Connect's workflow, you can simply click on this select existing connection and then save. But if you haven't, you have to follow me, click on add a new connection. And now it is asking me for the token. And to get this token, we are simply going to open our Pabbly Chatflow account. And now from here, we have to go towards this settings and then API and webhooks. And over here, you can see that this is my API key. So I'm simply going to copy this API key. And then we're just going to paste this API key right over here in our workflow and click on this save. And once I'm just going to click on this save, with this, we have successfully connected our Pabbly Chatflow account with our Pabbly Connect's workflow. And now it is asking me for the recipient mobile number. So I'm simply going to enter the recipient mobile number right over here, but we're not going to enter it manually, but instead we are just going to map it. So you must be wondering what is mapping. So mapping is a method by Pabbly which means inserting the data from the previous step. And as you know, our previous step were these steps where we selected Google Drive, Google Sheets and Iterator as our applications. So we are simply going to map the details from the response of these applications only. And as soon as we're just going to map these details automatically, my details will turn dynamic and change with every new response received. So I'm simply going to map this mobile number. For that, I'm just going to look for the mobile number. I'm just going to search for the mobile number in this Google Sheets, right? And I'm just going to simply map it right over here from the response of my iterator. And over here, you can see that I've mapped this mobile number. But in the notes, it is clearly mentioned that enter the mobile number with the country code, but without the plus sign. So I'm just going to enter this country code right over here manually because I'm just going to send a message to every student who's enrolled in my course. And this course is only in India. So I'm simply going to enter the Indian country code right over here, which is 91. And over here, it has clearly mentioned that I have to enter it without the plus sign. And now I'm just going to move on forward after entering this mobile number. I'm just going to select the template name. So to let you know about this template, I'm just going to open my Pabbly Chatflow account once again. We're just going to go towards this template section of a Pabbly Chatflow account. So I'm just going to open this template section, and over here you can see that I have already created a template named weekly notes. And over here you can see I'm just going to use this same template, all right, which is for Java learning course. So yes, I'm just going to use this same template. If you want to create a new template, you can go towards this add template button and create your own. And if you want to learn about templates in detail, you can check out the description box below. We have attached a video dedicated towards it in the description box. All right, so I'm simply going to select my template right over here, which is named weekly notes. And after selecting this, we are just going to move on forward. It is saying header type document. So yes, I have kept my header type as document right over here. So I'm just going to move on further. It is asking me for the header parameters. So no, my header doesn't has any parameters. So I'm just going to leave it as blank. Now it is asking me for the media URL. So over here, I'm just going to enter the same media which we received from our Google Drive. And you must be wondering, how are we going to do this? So for that, I'm just going to first paste a URL right over here. And yes, after pasting this URL over here, you can see it is written file ID. So instead of this file ID, I'm just going to simply map the ID of my file. So over here, we're just going to get this ID in the response of our Google Drive. So we're simply going to map it. And after mapping this, we're just going to move on further. You don't worry, you're just going to get this URL in the description box below. You can directly copy it from there. Now it is asking me for the file name. So here you can see the name of my file is this. All right, so I'm simply going to enter the same file name. And after entering this file name, I'm just going to move on further. It is asking me for many other details. So I'm only going to fill in the details which are required, like the name. So I'm simply going to map the name, which is John Doe. So I'm simply going to map it. Now I'm just going to move on further. It is asking me for many other details. So I'm only going to fill in the details which are required, which is the body parameter. So to let you know about this body parameter, I'm just going to open my template. And over here in my template, you can see that I have one in curly brackets after this hey. So you must be wondering why I've put this one in curly brackets. So what I want is, I'm just going to replace this one with the name of my student so I can send a personalized WhatsApp message to all of my students. So what I'm just going to do is, I'm simply going to map the value of this one right over here in this body parameter, which is the name of my student. So I'm simply going to map the first name, put a space, and then the last name. And after mapping this, I'm simply going to click on this button which says save and send test request. But before clicking on this save and send test request, I'll just replace this dummy phone number with my original phone number so that I can show you the message and the response received. Because over here it has clearly mentioned that ensure the mobile number is active on WhatsApp. All right, so I'm simply going to replace this dummy phone number with my original phone number so that I can show the message and the response received. So now I've successfully received this, and I'm just going to click on this save and send test request button. And once I'm just going to click on this save and send test request button, yes, you can see that we have received the positive response that we have successfully sent a message to this number. So I'm just going to open the WhatsApp and check for the message sent. So I'm just going to open the WhatsApp, and over here you can see that we have received the message. Also, we have received the week 1 notes. So I'm just going to download this week 1 notes, and I'm just going to show you this. So I'm just going to open this PDF file, and over here you can see the notes for week 1. So yes, with this we have successfully completed our workflow. And now whenever I'm just going to add new notes in this Google Drive folder within 10 minutes, the workflow is going to get triggered. Pabbly is going to get all the rows from this Google Sheets, iterate it, and then further we are just going to send a message to all of these students one by one like this. So yes, now we don't have to do all of this manually. All of this is going to happen in backend. We don't have to come back and again to our workflow to click on save and send test request too. Now go try this amazing automation for your own business too, because right now we are offering a free trial of Pabbly Connect and Pabbly Chatflow. And while trying, if you have any questions related to the video or the workflow, you can directly comment on this video. See you in the next video with many more automation tips, everyone. Thank you for watching. So not only these applications, but with the help of Pabbly Connect, you can connect many more applications. So now if you have any doubts, you can reach us at support@pabbly.com. If you have any queries, you can reach us at forum.pabbly.com. And if you have any pricing related issues, you can follow this URL. And now go try this amazing automation for your own business too, because right now we are offering a free trial of Pabbly Connect.